Hello everyone, this is Thomas Häger bringing you some good stuff from Heron Consulting today. We have decided that we will share our PowerPoint add-in with everyone without any cost at all. It's a special tool for working with PowerPoint that makes the everyday productivity better for anything you do in PowerPoint. I will show you a few of the highlights now today, and also you can look below in the details of the post for how to get your hands on this PowerPoint add-in and how to get it installed on your computer as well. So let me start with a few of the highlights. Maybe some of you have recognized one of the issues in PowerPoint native capabilities is that it's quite cumbersome to change the proofing language. So I just put a few examples in place here. We have here the English text being recognized as wrong spelling because it's just not the correct proofing language at this point. In PowerPoint, there is no great native feature to allow you to update that for the whole presentation. You basically need to go through it slide by slide, shape by shape. With this toolbar or add-in, you can just go here and you can update it for first one shape. That's what you can do natively. That takes away the red lines on this box. And then now when you have your selection on a box that is correctly, that has the correct proofing language, you can also just go and apply that to all shapes. And then you see that the red lines goes away also on the second box here, and it would also go away on all other boxes that have English language on any slides in the presentation. You might wonder now why we don't have any red lines on the Swedish boxes here, but those will appear if you kind of edit them like that. Regardless of the red lines being there or not, you would still see that coming out on a spell check. Okay, so that's one of the features that makes that specific part a bit more easy to do. Let's get rid of those things and look at another feature with agenda pages. So I'm going to just insert a text box here and put a few lines of text. Like that. And then I will go to our agenda, click new agenda, and then you will see that you get one slide for each of those lines. With the current line, let's say, then for each slide being bolded. Now, if you want to update any of this, you can just go to any of those slides and just add whatever is missing. And then you go to agenda, update agenda, and you will see that that has come through on all those slides. If you need to add lines to your agenda, you can do that as well. Just add a line, click update agenda, and you will see that you have a new slide for that one. And the same, of course, if you need to take a line away, just do that as well. And you go update agenda, and that slide is gone. Okay, so that's agenda pages. So next thing I want to show you is the dynamic links. So let me start with just putting a few chevrons in place here. And just to distinguish them, let's put some numbers. And what this does is basically something similar to the agenda slides. It creates some linked shapes to make it more easy to update things. So if I go here now and click shape links, that we create one slide for each of the shapes. And if I update something on one of the slides here, and I select them all and I go and click update links, you will see that will come through on all the slides. If I want to do something more significant, and of course the point here is that you have like a process flow or something and you want to provide some details for the specific one, some details. Then you have some details for step 2. That may be very fancy. and you want to make sure that the main level here is kept consistent, then you can update these chevrons without changing the specific content for each slide. If you want to do something more significantly, you can, if you want to, for example, then take away one step, you can do that as well. And you select all the shapes that are left and you do regenerate the links. And the same thing there, the correct slides will be kept with the content that you have there and only the last one will be gone. So if in this case I would take away the second step, I click regenerate links and we see that the one where we had the details is gone. There is another kind of version of this you can do as well. Let me add, maybe we don't need more than that. We just go with the two we have. We have title links. That just means that we don't recreate the shapes on each slide. We just recreate the content of each shape in the title. So if I now want to update the title here with something more, update here, maybe the title here, maybe with something more, I can click here to make that update come through. And I can click here to make that update come through as well. And you will see that the overall image has been updated with that content. So it's just a convenient way of working with one kind of overall framework page or process page and the detailed levels below it, which is typically something we do in process development and if we want to work with an approach or similar things. Okay, that's the dynamic links feature, save and send part. So if we have a few different slides here, I just want to show you this being then selected and not selected maybe. And if I now just pick this one and I go here and you can choose between saving and sending. You can save as and send as PDF or as regular PowerPoint file. So let's go ahead and send this as a PDF then. So that creates a PDF with the same name as the current file name, and it opens up an email draft. And if I open this, you will see that it's only the specific slide that we selected in there. That's also something that saves a bit of time and effort. Next thing I want to show you is some specific stuff that comes to different things we can do with shapes. So let me just put a couple of shapes in here, one like that and one like that. The first thing we have here is the expand shapes function. So if I have two shapes like this, last one I select is considered the role model. And if I click this now, what happens is that this slave kind of shape, which is not the role model, will expand over to this one. And it behaves a little bit different if you, for example, have it down here and they are overlapping. It will only expand in one direction, or if you have it up here and they are overlapping, it will expand only in that direction. But again, if it's not overlapping in any direction, then it will expand in both dimensions, so to say. So that can be kind of convenient when we want things to be aligned and bolted onto each other in a way. Another special little feature is the possibility to merge text boxes. Text and if I now select these boxes and click our merge text, you will see they come all together into one text box. And if I want to split them again, I can do that as well with the split text box button. Another feature specifically for shapes is the possibility to change position of a shape. little bit bigger. Go here, and what happens here is that they will just change position with each other back and forth. And they go center, changing position. So you wouldn't see them being aligned on top or on the side or anything. It's the center that is the key here. If we have different types of formats on different shapes and we want to align on that, I would pick, say, all the different shapes that I want to have updated first, and then I pick my role model shape, and then I click apply style, and that will be inherited to all the previously selected ones. A special little feature if you end up kind of having different angles on your chevrons is that you can select all the ones that you want updated, and then you select your role model, and then you can adjust the chevrons to become exactly the same, which is kind of handy if you want them to kind of fit into each other like that. Okay, so next we're going to have a look at here our tools for specifically for process development. Let's go over here to the group that we call process, where we have put some of these functions together. First one is a template for swim lane diagramming, showing you the different, let's say, the different responsibility areas. Then let's just put in some numbers there for now. These would typically be departments in an organization, or different teams, or different responsibilities at least. Then we want to put some chevrons in there as well. I prepared some for us, so you don't need to look at me putting all of this together. Looks a bit messy at the moment. Things are not aligned the way they should be, etc. This is what we can address with our next little feature here called align in lane. So if I select one lane like that and I click this one, things will start to look much better. Can go about it one lane after another. Last one as well. And the other thing we might see here is that the lanes might not be organized the best way they could be. So we see some connections between the second and the fourth lane here, for example, crossing a whole lane of number 3 here. Maybe it would make more sense for us to put the third lane in the second position instead. And that's what we can do with the lane up and lane down features here as well. A feature that you're used to see in applications like Microsoft Visio, but has not been really available natively in PowerPoint at all. But it's certainly something that saves you a lot of time. So it moves both the shapes, of course, and it also changes the title of the swim lane. And it leaves the connectors intact as well. Okay, so I think that is all for the process development for now, but this is also one area that we're really looking into how to improve and expand that going forward. The last part over here is where we have some special shapes and other cool features. So we have the RV balls, which is typically something we use when we want to show how much align something in, how much, let's say, performance versus target. We have different type of evaluations and how we can illustrate that. This gives you a number of different standard values. And if you have one Harvey already selected and you click a different Harvey, you will get that replaced instead. So you can do that quite fast and easy, update your slides. If you have a very specific level you want to show, you can enter that value here, 10%, and click Harvey, and you get the 10%. Or you can go 90%, and you get 90%. And those are actually on top of each other now. So, and then you can replace them again if you want. So those are the Harvey balls, quite a neat and neat shape to indicate different levels of conformity or performance or alignment. That's a cool way of highlighting important parts of a slide is the circle, the hand circle kind of thing. Comes in different colors. Just makes a slide a bit more interesting. You also have stamps. You have a draft stamp, you have an illustrative stamp, and you have a for discussion stamp. Just standard kind of things to put on slides that you want to indicate. Then we have also quite a nice feature called text to shape. If you want to just pop that up a bit, make it a little bit bigger, and then we go here again and we click text to shape, and you will see that all of these letters has actually become shapes that you can do things with. You can give them a shadow setting or whatever you want to do with them, just as any shape really. You can also change the points of them as you can with any shape. So they are really a vectorized shape as any kind of standard shape, just with a click of a button. Another interesting, very specific feature in a way is, let's just get my hold on a picture here to demonstrate that second one. Here are some Swedish hard bread, delicious stuff. If you have a picture selected like this and you click the jigsaw picture, what happens is that becomes a 2x2 jigsaw puzzle piece. Can be fun and useful in different contexts. You also have the very same thing, just like regular shapes, where you can edit text. So it's an editable text box, and it can show kind of how capabilities fit together or different things like that. Finally, one quite interesting thing that I think can be potentially very useful for specific purposes is the vectorizer, as we call it, for a chart. So if we have a chart like this, let me make it a little bit more specific. Sweden and Norway gives us all of Europe. Then can close out that one, make it a little bit smaller. So what we have here now is a chart, a map in the form of a chart. You cannot really do much with each piece here. You can of course color them with a specific data-driven type of way of editing it, but you cannot really address each piece here in a let's say editing mode in PowerPoint. But with this nice little feature, vector chart, click that, it will actually turn the whole chart into a vectorized map. So then you can pick out Norway here, you can blow that up, you can give it a different color, you can pick any part of it really. And the cool thing is that you can generate this map chart for any part of the world. Just select what you want, and you can turn it into a vectorized shape. Again, just like with the text shape, this is actually full of editing points. You can, really change this into what you want it to be, as you're happy with the standard kind of maps as they come by nature. Over here at the very last part of the add-in, we also have our user guide. So clicking that will just open up that presentation that goes through the functionality quite a bit in detail. You can just close that out. You don't need to worry about, let's say, saving or not saving or changing anything, because it will always open up as a new presentation. So any changes will not take effect to the original. You can just close that out. You also have two other kind of slide decks here. One is the references, where I just put together a couple of charts that I think are just not utilized very much, and people might not even know that they are there. One is the map chart, where you can easily just fill in different parts of the world. If you go with regions, if you go with countries, if you go with cities, it will behave a little bit differently. And I just put a kind of example here for how you can get that started. Same with the sunburst chart. I think it's also something that most are not very familiar with, and it's
It's not super intuitive how to use it, but here is at least an example to get you started. And I hope that will help also to explain a little bit of how it's done, the structure of the data, etc. The last one here that I also think is kind of forgotten about is the fact that PowerPoint now natively offer this kind of waterfall chart or bridge chart or whatever you want to call them, which is kind of new. I'm not sure exactly which version, but it can be very useful to show what happens, what has happened between two different periods in time, for example. I think the last one here I want to show you, and this is the same as with the user guide, you can't close that whenever. The last one is that you also here have easy access to your own kind of repository of slides. This is a presentation that you can actually add to, and you can add your own samples, whatever that might be, and you can save that, and that goes into to the same presentation as you have access to here. So if I open this now, you will see you have that new slide. So if you have like favorite slides, favorite content that you want to reuse, this is just a handy way to make that available.
Okay, so those are actually the main features that we want to highlight at this point. Our ambition going forward is, of course, to continue developing this. It's quite a new product. We need your help to make it even better. And we need your help also to highlight any issues that you experience with the tools so we can make it more robust going forward as well. So looking forward for having a community, on this. You will find the community on the LinkedIn group called Excellence for You. And if you want to have this toolbar and make good use of it, please join that group. Please also give us a thumbs up and a comment, so this can be spread to more people and bring even more benefit. And follow the instructions below to download the toolbar or the add-in and get going. And don't hesitate to reach out to us through the LinkedIn group Excellence for You if you have any questions or any input for further development. Or any bugs, of course. This is a new product, so I'm sure we'll have some of those as well. Okay, that's it for now then. Thank you very much. Hope you will enjoy it. Cheers.